Hello, and welcome to our 2020-2021 online virtual presentation of basket interference and goaltending. Today, we're going to present the National Federation rules associated with these two rules infractions, discuss actual casebook plays, show video of these violations occurring during games, discuss court coverage of the officials on the game, and provide recommendations on how to improve our call accuracy rate. Last but not least, we will talk about how to adjudicate the penalties. Before we get started, I would like to take a few moments and introduce the team that helped me produce this video. They are Toshika Howard Patterson, Andre Bumpus, Larry McCray, Rayshawn Jones, Ashley Bumpus, and myself, Thurman Legs. Without their help, this would not be possible. I would also like to thank Dr. Denny Moores, our Ohio High School Athletic Association Director of Basketball, for providing the opportunity for us to present today. It is an honor and a pleasure to be able to give back to the game that we love so much. With that being said, let's begin. Ashley will start us off. Today, she will explain to us what basket interference and goaltending are and the penalties associated with the two infractions. Hi, Ashley. The floor is all yours.
Thanks, Thurman. Rule 4-6, basket interference. Basket interference occurs when a player touches the ball or any part of the basket, including the net, while the ball is on or within either basket. Basket interference occurs when a player touches the ball while any part of the ball is within the imaginary cylinder, which has the basket ring as its lower base. Exception in Articles 1 or 2. If a player has his or her hand legally in contact with the ball, it is not a violation if such contact with the ball continues after it enters the imaginary cylinder, or if in such action, the player touches the basket. Dunking or stuffing is legal and is not basket interference. Article 3 occurs when a player touches the ball outside the cylinder while reaching through the basket from below. Article 4 occurs when a player pulls down a movable ring so that it contacts the ball before the ring returns to its original position. Rule 9-11 discusses basket interference. A player shall not commit basket interference as in Rule 4-6. The penalties for basket interference are sections 11-11 and 12. If the violation is at the opponent's basket, the opponents are awarded 1 point if during a free throw, 3 points if during a three-point try, and 2 points in any other case. See 10-4-9 for additional penalty for goaltending during a free throw. The crediting of the score and subsequent procedure are the same as if the awarded score had resulted from the ball having gone into the basket, except that the official shall hand or bounce the ball to a player of the team entitled to the throw-in. Number 2, if the violation is at a team's own basket, no points can be scored, and the ball is awarded to the opponents for a throw-in from the designated out-of-bounds spot nearest the violation. See 10-4-9 for additional penalty for goaltending during a free throw. 3, if the violation results from touching the ball while it is in the basket after entering from below, no points are scored, and the ball is awarded to the opponents for a throw-in from the designated out-of-bounds spot nearest the violation. Number 4, if there is a violation by both teams, play shall be resumed by the team entitled to the alternating possession throw-in at the out-of-bounds spot nearest to where the where the simultaneous violations occurred. Now that you know what basket interference or goaltending are, the rest of the team is going to break down video plays of these infractions. First up, Thurman.
Thanks, Ashley. Let's play the video. Can we play that video one more time?
Oh my God!
The offensive player violated Rule 4-6-1 when he touched the ball while it was on the basket. The penalty, no points can be scored, and the ball is awarded to the opponents for a throw-in from the designated out-of-bounds spot nearest the violation. Take a look at the official's positioning. The shot attempt occurred in the lead's primary. The lead is too close to the play. The lead should take 1 or 2 steps backwards to get a wider angle and a better look. The trail and the center have primary responsibility for basket interference and goaltending. Initially, the trail had a good angle to referee the first shot attempt. He stepped down towards the end line when the ball handler started to pivot towards the basket. But he did not stay engaged with the play. He bailed out on the play as the ball rolled around the basket, and as a result, he did not maintain a good angle to referee the next play, which was the offensive basket interference. Remember, when you have an open angle to referee the play, do not move and give it up. Maintain it. Stay connected to the play. The center official did not move during the initial shot, not when the violation occurred. When the violation occurred, she needed to position, readjust, and take 1 to 2 steps towards the baseline to get a better angle on the offensive rebound. Since she did not have a competitive matchup in her primary coverage area, she should have extended her vision and picked up a competitive matchup in her secondary coverage area. This play occurred near the end of the first quarter. As a crew, we have to be ready to officiate when we walk onto the court. Going into the game, we need to know if we're going to have above the rim action. We need to discuss goaltending, basket interference, verticality, post play, and other aspects of the game that occur near the basket. This is the only way to keep from being surprised when it does happen during your game. Toshika will now continue our discussion of basket interference and goaltending with a very interesting play. All yours, Toshika.
Thanks, Thurman. Dunking, Rule 4-16, is defined as driving, forcing, pushing, or attempting to force a ball through the basket with the hand or hands. Let's watch the video for some examples. Per Rule 4-6-2 exception, dunking is legal. It does not mean that the player can hang on the basket except to prevent injury or to do chin-ups. If an offensive player dunks the basketball, award the offensive team 2 points. The non-shooting team will be awarded a throw-in anywhere along the end line.
with the 4 fouls, an aggressive play by Lindsay. I'm surprised that Gonzaga came out trying to get a post for Williams-Goss. McIntosh to the hoop, hands off for Bowden, who's blocked. Collins got a hand on it. And Chris Collins gets teed up. And after that block, you saw Collins right at your screen, too far on the court. And Chris has been on it. Collins may have a point. Look at Collins' hand is absolutely, he is one.
In this video, the defensive player violated Rule 4-6-3, touching the ball outside of the cylinder while reaching through the basket from below. The offensive team should have been awarded 2 points, and play should have resumed with a throw-in by the non-shooting team anywhere along the end line. Note that in this play, the official gave the head coach a technical foul for coming onto the court, complaining about the missed basket interference call by the officials. Even though the coach was correct, he's not allowed to come onto the court, nor are the officials allowed to rescind the technical foul. Also, it is worthy to note that this is a correctable error situation, erroneously counting or canceling a score, Rule 2-10-1E, and also Casebook Play 2.10.1, Situation 1. The official had up until the second live ball to correct their mistake. The coach could have called a timeout when his team regained control of the basketball or when the ball became dead. The head coach could also have gone to the official score table to request a timeout to correct the scoring error. If the coach is correct, then his team would be credited with 2 points, no timeout would have been charged to his team, and play would be resumed at the point of interruption. I'm going to pass the mic to Andre. Those of us who know him call him by his last name, Bump. So Bump, you're up.
Thanks, T. Let's play the video. This is a legal play. The defensive player mistimed his jump. He did not touch the basketball until after it came off the rim. By rule, this is an inadvertent whistle by the trail official. The center official needs to bring information to him quicker. The trail should position himself near the 28-foot mark to give himself a better angle to see the play. When the ball became dead, the player in maroon had control of the ball. Therefore, maroon shall receive a designated spot throw-in on the end line. Take a look at the positioning of the 3 officials. The lead has a very good angle to referee the play. He can see between the basket and the defensive player's hand. The center official also has an open angle to referee the play, but from the opposite side of the court, and neither of them had a whistle on the play. The trail, on the other hand, was too high when the player shot the basketball. He was near the 35-foot mark on the court. Then he compounded the problem by bailing out. By the time he blew his whistle, he was at the division line. There is no way that he can see between the basket and the defensive player's hand in order to determine whether basket interference had occurred. In these situations, you have to trust your partner. Trust that if there is a violation, they will make the call. The center official should have sprinted towards his partner immediately to bring him information. As soon as he saw that his partner hadn't called the violation and counted the basket, he should have ran to him and said, "From my angle, I am 100% sure that the defensive player did not touch the basket while it was on the basketball while it was on the basket." At which point, the trail official should inform both coaches that we had an inadvertent whistle And since the visiting team had control of the ball when the inadvertent whistle occurred, they will receive the ball from a designated spot throw-in out of bounds on the baseline. Now I would like to pass the microphone to Ray Sean, who will share a couple of casebook plays with you.
Thanks, Bump. Let's take a look at casebook play 4.19.6 situation A and B. B1 obtains a legal position in A1's path before A1 becomes airborne. A1 jumps and releases the ball on a try for goal. Before returning to the floor airborne, shooter A1 charges into B1. A, before the foul by B1, B2 commits basket interference. Or B, after the foul on A1, B2 slaps the ball on its downward flight. 4.19.6 situation A. Ruling in A, both the violation and the foul are penalized. The basket interference by B2 causes the ball to become dead immediately. The violation is penalized by awarding the 2 points. The player control foul on A1 is also charged. Team B is awarded the ball for a throw-in anywhere along the end line. A defensive goaltending or basket interference violation committed prior to a player control foul does not contradict the general statement that when a player control foul occurs, the player cannot score. In the case of a defensive violation, it is a violation which results in a rewarding score. 4.19.6 situation B. In B, the ball becomes dead and the try ends immediately when the player control foul on A1 occurs. The action of B2 is ignored as goaltending cannot occur after the try has ended. The ball is awarded to Team B for a throw-in a designated spot out of bounds closest to where the foul occurred. Please see the following rules and exceptions below. 6.7 situation A. The ball is in flight during a try or a tap or goal by A1 when the time for the third quarter expires. After time expires, the ball is on a ring or in a basket or is touching the cylinder above the basket when it is touched by A, A2, or B, B1. The ball then goes through the basket or does not go through. 6.7 situation A. Ruling. In A and B, the ball becomes dead as the try ended for the violation. A. No points can be scored because of the offensive interference by A2. B ruling. However, in B, since the touching is defensive basket interference by B1, 2 points are awarded to A1. Whether or not the ball goes through the basket has no effect upon either ruling. Points are awarded as a result of the violation. Now I would like to pass the microphone to Larry, and he will present goaltending.
Thank you, Rayshawn. Goaltending occurs when a player touches the ball during a try or tap for field goal while the ball is in its downward flight, is not touching the basket cylinder entirely above the basket ring level, has the possibility of entering the basket in flight, or a player touches the ball outside the cylinder during a free throw attempt. In Rule 9-12, goaltending states, a player shall not commit goaltending as in 4-22. In Rule 10-4, player technical states, a player shall not, Article 9, commit goaltending during a free throw. Let's watch the video.
In hindsight, that's true, but no coach in the country, would commit a foul.
No one's going to pull that trigger. I appreciate Dave's point, but no one's going to pull that trigger. I simply believe that's an old play on the baseline that they attempted. There was clear contact. It could have been called. If it had been called, there would not have been much of an argument from Georgia.
Right here, Georgia trying to get a three-point lead. They failed to execute twice against Ole Miss in this situation with a three-point lead. That is a technical.
Yes, it is. Stevenson, that's a team. On on Stevenson. Absolutely. And now
In Rule 10-4, player technical, this is a violation of Rule 10-4-9, defensive goaltending, a free throw attempt. A player touches the ball outside the cylinder during a free throw attempt. On this particular play, the team in white is down by 2 points, and there are 1.2 seconds remaining in overtime. When the player in black attempts his final free throw attempt, the defensive player jumps and hits the ball while it was on its downward flight above the basket and had a chance to go in the basket. The referee comes in and confirms with his partner, then assesses a technical foul on the defensive player. Any black team member will get to shoot 2 free throws with no players in the marked lane spaces and a throw-in on the sideline at the division line. Now, Rayshawn will talk to us about the corresponding casebook play.
Let's talk about 5.2.1 situation A and B. A1 attempts a three-point goal. B1 slaps the ball. A, while it is in downward flight outside the cylinder but above the ring level, or while it is in the cylinder after bouncing off the ring. A ruling, it is defensive goaltending and 3 points awarded as a result of the violation. B ruling, defensive basket interference and 3 points are awarded as a result of the violation. Now Thurman will have us make the call.
Thanks, Rayshawn. You make the call, number 1. Is this play A, offensive basket interference, B, technical foul, or C, both?
He's got Garner with him. Reeves, Euro step off the window. Yes, and the foul.
that's the way the game has changed. Gardner runs to the three-point line, and they're going to wave it off. Look at this. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's why they waved it off.
Good call by Lamont Simpson.
Absolutely.
Ruling. By rule, the answer is C, both A and B. This is a double infraction, and both acts are penalized. It is both basket interference and a technical foul. The moment the hand grabbed the ring while the ball was on the basket, it was offensive basket interference, and a technical foul occurred. Award 2 points to Team A, followed by 2 free throws and a division line throw-in, Rule 10-4-3. I would like to state that by rule, the officials would be correct to penalize both infractions. But a good official understands the intent of the rule and applies that when they either make a call or pass on a call. In this instance, the grabbing of the basket had no effect on the play, and the right call would be just basket interference. Rayshawn will now tell us about the casebook play that corresponds to this play. It's all yours, Ray.
Thanks, Thurman. Casebook 9.11.1 Situation B. While the ball is touching the ring of the basket on a field goal attempt, B1 grabs the ring when there is no threat of injury. Ruling, this is a double infraction and both acts are penalized. It is both basket interference and a technical foul. The moment the hand touched the ring, it was basket interference. When the player grabs the ring, a technical foul occurred. Award 2 points to Team A, followed by 2 free throws to the division line throw-in. Ruling 10-4-3. Now Toshka will help us make the call.
Thanks, Rayshawn. These next 2 videos are around rules 9-11 and 4-6-1. You make the call number 2. Is it A, defensive basket interference, B, goaltending, C, technical foul, or D, legal play?
Yes, RD.
Ruling, this is a legal play. The defensive player has not committed a violation. Rule 4-6-1 states that basket interference occurs when a player touches any part of the basket, including the net, while the ball is on or within either basket. The defensive player is touching the net, but the ball is not touching or within the basket. In this instance, the defensive player is not touching the net when the ball is touching the basket. One of the main purposes of this video clip is to help explain basket interference. In order to do so, we have to slow this play down frame by frame. But as officials, we're human, and we don't referee that way. This official made a very good call on this bang-bang play. He hustled back on the court to get into position to referee a potential foul and had the presence of mind to call basket interference when the defender grabbed the net. Great call. We also want to remind everyone to use proper National Federation mechanics when making your calls. Improper mechanics are not permissible and can cause confusion during a game. Now Bump will help us to make the call.
Thanks, T. You make the call number 3. Is the answer A, defensive basket interference, B, goaltending, or C, legal play?
Guarding, good hands, deflection, and a steal by Quickly. Hero. Travis clears out space. Layup doesn't go, but it's goaltending. Oh, good one on the glass. Question is, does this one hit the glass first?
The answer is goaltending. Rule 9-12 penalty. On this play, the ball has already hit the backboard. At that point, it has reached its highest point and will be on its downward flight. If the ball is above the basket and in the official's judgment has a chance of going in the basket, the defensive player cannot touch it without risk of being called for goaltending. Larry, help us make the call.
Thanks, Bump. Rules 9-11 or 9-12. You make the call number 4. Is it A, defensive basket interference, B, goaltending, or C, legal play?
Remember when people only had 2 names? Beautiful pass. Gigi Goldman, best play of the night for Gigi, who's had a slow start.
Welsh is fouled on the putback attempt. 19 foul.
His concentration.
Didn't Jabbar break your nose like in one of your?
Ruling. The ruling here is C, legal play. The defensive player did nothing wrong. He did not commit basket interference or goaltending. Neither did he intentionally slap the backboard. The contact with the backboard was incidental. Now, Rayshawn will help us make the call.
Thanks, Larry. You made the call number 5, Rule 9-11 and Rule 9-12. Is it A, defensive basket interference, B, goaltending, or C, legal play?
Cook. Coming up in the fourth quarter, we're going to be joined by ESPN.com recruiting analyst Reggie Rankin. Talk a little bit more about Jason Tatum's recruiting.
Ruling. The answer here is C, legal play. The ball was not in the cylinder or on the basket when the player made contact with it. The ball was above the rim, had a chance to go in the basket, but was still on its upward flight. Therefore, this was a legal play by the defender. Ashley will help us out with the last. You make the call.
Thank you, Rayshawn. You make the call number 6. Is it A, basket interference, Trail should make the call? B, goaltending, Trail should make the call? C, basket interference, Trail should not make the call? Or D, goaltending, Trail should not make the call? The ruling here is C, basket interference, and the Trail should not make the call. Even though the defender touched the basketball while it was in the cylinder, the Trail must not make this call from 60 plus feet away from the play. We have to trust that our partners will make the call. The new lead is in good position to referee the play. If he stops 12 feet from the end line, he would have a better angle. Also, he seems to be refereeing the defender for a potential foul, and by the time he looks up, the violation has already occurred. The center official has a very good angle to referee the play and should have called the violation. Remember to anticipate the play. And back to you, Thurman.
Thanks, Ashley. This concludes our presentation of basket interference and goaltending. We hope that you have enjoyed our presentation as much as we've enjoyed putting it together for you. We would again like to thank Dr. Denny Morris and the Ohio High School Athletic Association for allowing us the opportunity to give a presentation to our fellow officials. Before we sign off, we would like to share a few things that have helped us throughout our careers that we believe will benefit you in the future. Number 1, study the rules. Prepare yourself for these situations by studying the rules, watching video clips, and discussing them with your fellow officials. 2, positioning. In transition, the new lead and center officials need to anticipate these situations and get in position to referee the trailing defender. 3, open angles. Position adjust, move to improve. Trail and center, step down towards the end line when shots are taken. 4, trust your partners, but don't have blind trust. Referee strong in your primary, come out of your primary to get obvious fouls and violations. 5, get the play right. Call obvious fouls and violations. From Thurman, Toshika, Andre, Larry, Rayshawn, and Ashley, we thank you. During this challenging season, we pray that you be safe.